just watched this stupid thing. Some girl on a short on YouTube talking about being older now because she's 28 years old. She used to like older guys, but now she's finding herself looking at like young 20s, and I'm thinking, first of all, you're 28 years old. Now she's trying to be funny. This is comedy, but you know, it's a woman. You know, she believes it. But my thing is, she's 28 years old. Your brain is like, her brain is finally just now becoming fully developed. You're still a child. You know, I know we all feel old at that point. But, you know, she's talking about dating men in their early 20s. They're not men. I mean, unless they're Marines. You date a Marine, you're dating a man. Really, you're dating a boy that knows man shit. That's basically what that is, or is doing man stuff. It's the one thing about the military. You know, as far as men go. Women go into it. Everybody goes into it for different reasons. But if you're a young man and you want to be a man, and it's the thing that all men go through, it's like, when am I a man? How do I know I'm a man? It's something that women don't have to worry about. Well, go in the Marines and you're never going to worry about whether you're a man or not, or really any branch of the service, because that's man school. Now you're in a position, you're in a place where you're dealing with, first of all, you learn how to be comfortable with being uncomfortable, and which is a very key thing to being a man. And then you learn man shit, like doing things you don't want to do without complaining about it, and still doing it to a high degree of proficiency. That's a thing. That's part of being a man. But the thing here is, you're still not a man. You know, or an adult is basically what I'm getting at. You know, you could drink booze and go to war and everything else, but becoming an adult, there's a lot more going on there. Because what I really want to get to is like voting. I think the voting age should be raised to 30. I don't think you should be able to vote. What are you doing, man? What do you might as well pull out because you're driving like an asshole. Sorry. It's a woman. It happened to be a woman driver. I'm going off the rails here. So, I wish you guys could see what I'm seeing as I drive through here. All right, come on. So as I'm saying here, you should have to be at least 30 years old to vote. And I say this because at least by then, you should have been out into the workforce a little bit. You should have gone out and tried things and made mistakes, had a paycheck, looked at your paycheck, looked down and see how much they take out in taxes, and started thinking about the world and looking at your government and what they're spending your taxes on. You should have been exposed by now to the idea of the grift that's going on in our government, between government and some big business, right? The whole idea that there are lobbyists out there that are greasing politicians at all levels, the bureaucracy, to get what they want. Certain regulations being passed or overlooked or changed, augmented, certain laws being passed, certain laws being passed that have certain exceptions, like this thing here in California recently with the $20 minimum wage for fast food workers, but it's going to omit places where they actually bake bread. You know, once you get to be 30 years and over, you start hearing about this or paying attention to it, understanding this is your money. That's when you vote. Because when you're 18 years old, you haven't lived enough life. You're in your early 20s. You have not. I'm generalizing here. Obviously, not everybody's the same. Some of you have lived through hardships and have been working since you were young or whatever. I'm generalizing, but you know that what I'm saying here is the truth. Generally speaking, young people today are way too coddled, and we've been infantizing our youth for decades. They don't know anything, and they're just susceptible to all this bullshit, right? The fake news and everything else, you know, the brainwashing that's going on. especially if you went from high school to university, where you're being programmed into believe in all this revisionist history and wokeism and everything else, and then you're going to vote. What are you basing your voting on? I'll tell you what you're basing it on. You're not basing it on logic or facts. You're basing it on your emotions, and your emotions have been manipulated by bullshit. So I'm saying we have to raise the legal voting age to 30.